I don't know whether to disagree of these ladies because I think it's a bad political take, or whether just to give them a big giant hug. Go Fifi!
It's cute. Like, wait, why are they making the blankets?
If you think Tian comes shot first or second, doesn't matter.
We're not like J-Dubs. We don't do whatever it's called, disconnection or, disaffiliation, or else, we don't shun you. Yeah. We bake you cookies.
If you're a bleeding heart liberal, you're welcome here.
This episode is brought to you by Go and Do Travel, specifically their Gospel on the Nile tour in Egypt. For discounts on all of their tours, please check out the links in the description. I am so excited for today's episode. Ladies and gentlemen, it's official. The most Relief Society thing ever has been done. There's a bunch of anti-Trump Mormon protester women who are sewing blankets against Trump in protest. We're going to be reacting to this article by the Canadian Affairs. It is the most Relief Society thing ever, making patchwork quilts in protest against a president. I can't believe it. This is hilarious. My name is Cardin Ellis. I am the host of this show. I'm joined in the studio by my lovely wife, Brittany the Shadow, as well as via Zoom by none other than Jonah Barnes, the Associate Professor of all things apocryphal and a world-renowned author at this point. Oh. And Jonah, the second I saw this, oh my goodness. Tell us what's going on, dude. Tell us what's going on. This is hilarious, bro.
Yes. Well, if you have not been keeping up on all the news from Mormon Women for Ethical Government,
okay,
I'm really disappointed you haven't been keeping up on their press releases. The Mormon Women for Ethical Government, or the MWEG,
okay,
staged a protest just like a week ago, where they submitted patches like quilt patches, with things, statements and slogans and mottos sewn on them, showing their discontent with what the 47th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, is doing, specifically in regard to immigration. Seem to be kind of the cause of the day. But there are several different causes that they touched upon. But they were the Canadian Affairs was reporting on this. They had thousands of quilt squares submitted by women all across the country, and they're all concerned about Donald Trump as he, with illegal immigration, firing wasteful bureaucrats who leech off the taxpayer and do absolutely nothing and might not even exist. Those poor bots. Who's thinking about the bureaucrat bots?
Oh, you're smiling, Brittany. Brittany is just smiling right now. Oh my goodness gracious! All right, keep going, Jonah.
Now the organization, the Mormon Women for Ethical Government,
okay,
is not officially affiliated with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. It's its own 501c3. That was formed, specifically a social welfare organization. It began in 2017, so it's only been around for like 8 years or so. And this is the first, honestly, that I've ever heard about it. And I'm betting that 100% of the people listening to this, it's the first time they've ever heard about it. I don't know how large it is, but it's a young organization trying to make its mark on the tenure of the 47th President of the United States with these their protestation. So some of the slogans include.
Well, hold on. Before you go any farther, I want to make sure that I read this correctly so that I'm representing the article here on Canadian Affairs correctly. Okay. This is what it says. At the base of the Capitol in Washington, dozens of Mormon women gathered Tuesday for a unique type of protest.
Dozens!
You're a savage, man. You're a savage. But it says, dozens gathered for a unique type of protest, meticulously sewing together giant quilts to call on legislators to protect the U.S. Constitution as Donald Trump gets closer and closer to ignoring it. I am sorry, but a bunch of Mormon women gathering on the steps of the U.S. Capitol building, dozens of Mormon women gathering on the steps of the U.S. Capitol building to sew quilts in protest. of Donald Trump is the most Relief Society protest I could ever think of. Like, what is next? Like when you go inactive from our church, like this is proof that everything the anti-Mormons and the progmos say is utterly false. Like, when you go inactive from the Mormon faith and you leave our faith, we're not like Scientologists. We're not like J-dubs. We don't do whatever it's called, disconnection or, disaffiliation, or else, we don't shun you.
Yeah.
We bake you cookies. We bake you cookies. And we pray for you in our temples. And now I don't know whether to disagree of these ladies because I think it's a bad political take, or whether just to give them a big giant hug.
I was going to say, I think it's cute. Like, wait, why are they making the blankets?
Well,
what are they protesting exactly?
Well, this is what the blankets say right here. I'll finish the article. The assembly involves thousands of quilt squares submitted by women across the country, all of whom are concerned about the political situation in the United States of America, with slogans such as, and I'll put it on the screen here so we're representing ourselves correctly here. It says, with slogans such as, "We are all immigrants," and "a government of laws and not men." So, organized by members of Mormon Women for Ethical Government, nonpartisan faith-based political advocacy group. Apparently, this is a lot of ladies.
So obviously they're protesting deportations, right?
Amongst other things, yes, I'm sure.
Okay, can you imagine this group text with these ladies like, what are we going to do about this, Bertha? And Nancy's like, well, I know how to quilt. And everyone's like, hell yeah, I know how to quilt too. And they're like, well, that'll show them. Like, we're going to go quilt. Like, we're going to quilt the shiz out of this protest.
We're gonna quilt the shiz out of it. That's right. Way to use the scriptures in your daily life. And by the way, we're not dunking on you ladies here, fellow members of the church and the body of Christ.
I actually think it's cute. You know what this reminds me of, Cardin?
What?
I actually think, like, good for them. Like, if this is their form of protest, like, I'm all for it, right? I think it's cute. It's endearing. They probably they probably think of they're making a stand, right? I don't know if quilt's the way, but anyway, I think good on them for taking a stand how they see fit and using their talents. But it reminds me of the Bible story in Acts. I think it's chapter 9. Tabitha. You know that story?
But of course, Acts 9. Before 10.
Do you know who I'm talking about?
It's after 8. That's right.
Yeah,
no.
That's the one.
Of course I do, but I want to hear what you have to say.
Oh, of course, thank you. Let me shed some light on Acts 9. No, Tabitha was like a beloved member of the community, and she made clothes for members, I think specifically the widows, and she made them coats, clothes, it just says garments, and she got really sick, and she died. And the town, especially the widows, were super sad about it. And I don't know if they called for Peter or Peter happened to walk through the town.
Oh, yeah.
But she was resurrected.
Yeah, she was the resurrection
Peter
of Peter.
resurrected her because she was such a beloved member of the community because she made clothes for them. So, in a way, this kind of reminds me of, like, these women, like, they're just making quilts and, like, trying to make a difference in people's lives.
Yes, and I self-censure right now. I call myself under repentance. Hey guys, before we go any farther, I just want to put a plug in for Go and Do Travel, specifically their Gospel on the Nile tour in Egypt. I just had a chance to take the tour myself, and let me tell you, it is amazing. The hosts are incredible. You got Greg Madsen, you got Bruce Porter, you got Brian Mickelson. They show you a phenomenal time culturally, but also spiritually and intellectually. They show you all the temples, all the sites, and they contextualize the Book of Mormon, the Book of Abraham, the Old and the New Testament in a way that you have to experience it yourself. So in order to help you in that process, I have included a couple of links in the description of this video. Use WardRadio 5 to receive 5% off all of their tours. But you got to check out Gospel on the Nile. It's an amazing experience. Check out the links in the description. Without any further ado, let's go. Okay. I kind of mocked these ladies for their political stance, and I should not have, because right now I grew up in California, and the West is definitely different than the East, and Southern California is definitely a lot different than northeastern culture in the United States of America. All right. Oftentimes, people will call the Democrat Party in America the rural party, and the urban party the Democrat Party, because the two lifestyles and cultures are very different. Let me tell you, I loved my time in New York. One of the best places you can ever go to church is in the Northeast. Go to church in Manhattan, go to church in Boston, go to church in some of these cities, and you'll find some of the most phenomenal members of the church. They do default Democrat over there. All right. And so the pipeline of the information in the echo chambers they're going to live in is going to be very, anti people, ideas, initiatives, and parties that you agree with. All right. So there's a reason why there's 2 foyers in every chapel. You know what I'm saying? As long as we can come together in the sacrament meeting and accept that Jesus is the Christ and Joseph Smith was a prophet and the Book of Mormon is true.
I like that.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You like that. So I call myself under repentance for mocking these women for a different take than what would have been mine. But I do say that good on them for making blankets. We're gonna throw a quilt at them. That's what we're gonna do. I love it. This is awesome. So, Jonah, I see a bunch of memes popping in the Discord. What's going on?
Well, yes. So now, right before we get to the memes, for full transparency here. So I'm looking up the Mormon Women for Ethical Government Foundation's 990 forms.
Oh, sweet.
And it sounds like the 2 women who are the leaders of the organization. Jennifer Walker Thomas out of Belmont, Massachusetts, which is funny. Do you know my brother who's in Belmont? Maybe she knows my brother, Jesse. Say hi.
Yeah.
And then Emma Petty Adams from Salt Lake City. They both regularly write opinion pieces for Deseret News. Thomas is a graduate from BYU. Adams is a graduate from Stanford University. And
dude, they got a whole website. Look at this, bruh.
Yeah, I know. They got a whole thing. They raised $500,000 in 2023, by the way.
Wait, now, what?
Yeah, they don't do anything with it at all,
well,
but they raise a lot.
They can afford plane flights to quilt on the Capitol.
Yeah, right. These are quilts. These must be really nice quilts.
Jeez, man.
Must be really
hey, well, there's
nice
our
quilts.
hero. There's our hero right here. Look at this, man. MWEG has shown me a path for women to become, oh man, their quotes are going by so fast I can't read them all. The sisterhood of MWEG gives me confidence. MWEG has been an anchor for me many times throughout the years, says Robin. And I'm grateful to be a community of like-minded women. Wow, so interesting. So it kind of makes you wonder, are these just like all of the progmo never Trumpers in Mormonism?
Yes.
Or is this literally just women who are looking for ethical government?
No, it's 100%. So
see, and that's where I differ from them, because I'm not a never Trumper. So we're on you taking a stand doing quilts. Don't agree, but it's cute.
Yeah, sure. No, yeah, it is. But no, from their very first official statement of MWEG was about the taking children away from loving parents, how that violates every code of ethics and morality known to humankind. That was their very first official statement. Every statement that they have made officially is, we don't like Senator Jeff Flake, the Republican. We don't like Brett Kavanaugh. He's a heaven knows what. We don't like Donald Trump. Every single thing they ever talk about is Donald Trump. You wonder, without Donald Trump, would this organization even exist? And
so is it really just a cover? Is it just really a cover for anti-conservatism and anti-republicanism, or is it a gathering place for women who
they were created in 2017? Is that what you said?
2017.
Interesting.
In response,
what happened in 2016?
Okay. All right. Well, look. I'm trying to be the nice guy here, because boy,
I know.
Apparently,
we don't know. We don't know. Everyone I'm looking up, they're all.
It looks like, at least on paper, they're trying to thread the needle, because look, I give the credit where credit is due. Here we've got the website of Mormon Women for Ethical Government, right? And what's funny is, look at this. I'm reframing it here so you guys can see. Mormon Women for Ethical Government. We are faithful. We are nonpartisan. We are peaceful. We are proactive, right? It looks like they are definitely aware of the knee-jerk reaction and stereotype that the second you start saying these things, the assumption is that you're going woke, and we're just waiting for the Facebook telephone post of you like going inactive like within 6 months.
And like it's hard for me
They're
because
like,
I think
no,
all
we're
politics,
faithful. We're nonpartisan. We're faithful.
Yeah, right.
Like,
Yes. They're getting ahead of that because they know. I'm cynical because I believe that all politics is antichrist, regardless of what. It's all antichrist. But these women definitely are not a wide spectrum of women. These are not a diverse set of political opinions. This is all one. That's okay. That's all right. I'm not saying it's bad or it's wrong, but this is not a sampling of the general LDS female population. Like, no, the fact that they're called Mormon might give you a clue too.
But also maybe that's just how they were branded originally before Russell M. Nelson came back and Elder Christensen came out, and
You're right. But
look, I'm trying to make friends with these ladies, all right?
Yeah,
I want a quilt. I want a quilt.
They're probably fine. But actually, we have... So, Ward Radio sent some investigative journalists there because we have a lot of them in D.C. And,
that's true.
They actually took some photographs of the quilts.
Whoa,
that the women
really?
had. Yeah, there was a wide range. I said there wasn't a wide range of political opinions, but actually, there's a lot of different things that show up on these patchwork quilts that they made. So we have here exclusively for you. This isn't the Canadian Affairs didn't even get these photos.
That's true.
So you can see some of the slogans.
Oh, I see the first one. There's a woman in a. It looks like she is in a blue sweater. Can you?
Yes.
What's it say? What's that say?
It says, "Now my fingers hurt." A powerful statement. A powerful statement right there.
Yeah,
Just,
now my fingers hurt.
Courage.
It
takes courage to stand up.
This reminds me of Happy Gilmore.
Truth.
Oh, that's too
Speak truth
funny.
to power.
What's the next one, man? What's the next one?
Let's see. The next one, right down. Let's see. It says, "Down with Terp."
Down with Terp.
Down with Trump. I'm not sure what that means. That could be. I'm not sure exactly what they're referring to, but she seems very proud of that. The next one is a group of women all holding this one, and it just has one word written across. Can you read that, Carden? I can't read that.
I can't read what it says. Oh, Kofifi.
Yeah, I don't know what they're trying to communicate with that, but they seem very proud of that. They seem very proud.
Oh my
that
gosh, that's too funny.
The next one is kind of a green tinted one. It says, it is obviously Relief Society women. It says, "Thanks for the money, Elders Quorum."
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Pretty cheeky there.
Oh my gosh, you're a savage.
Remember that this is a women's organization. So the next one's a very large quilt. That you can see them in masks on either side. This is a very women's organization. Their motto, "Just swerve."
Just
for all
swerve.
the women drivers in the organization.
My
Just
gosh.
swerve. It's good. The next one for Gen Alphas might appreciate this one. I think. What does that one say? Can you see? She's holding a microphone. Can you see that one?
Chicken jockey.
Chicken jockey. Very powerful statement there from the Mormon Women for Ethical Governance there. Chicken jockey.
My God.
Next one. This is in relation to the McKinney Temple.
McKinney, Texas Temple.
"Let my steeple go." That was clever. That's a good one. But the last one, this was really the biggest. This was the thing that got the most worked up. It's kind of an American flag theme, a beautiful quilt.
There's another one?
Yeah, it's a last very large one there in the Discord. It's kind of an American flag theme.
Oh, interesting. There's another one here. Hold on. We're going to pull it up. Let's see what it says. This is a beautiful huge one. I can't even see the whole picture here. Hold on. Oh, my.
Tian come shot first is what they're very passionate about at the Mormon Women for Ethical Governance. So there you go. So exclusive for you tonight, we have Ward Radio investigators have gone and taken some of the photographs. Mormon Women for Ethical Governance. They're standing for things. Kafivi, chicken jockey. Okay? They're serious. Dozens of them. All right? Now you know.
Okay, final thoughts, Bird. We have either just poked a hive of angry feminists who are going to just find out what ward we're in, make our life hell on Facebook, and just...
Can Ward Radio send me to one of their meetings. I actually want to learn how to quilt, and then I can also get some intel. I will just blend right in.
Well, it's funny because I do say my only question with this is I would be like, okay, well, you're compassionate for immigrants and compassionate for people like this. Does your compassion extend to those that have been adversely affected by illegal immigration?
Yeah.
That would be my serious question. And my only real problem with the progressive Mormons of our church is I'm a liberal guy. I supported Andrew Yang. I'm a bleeding heart liberal, if you will, and so on and so forth. But if you're a bleeding heart liberal, you have to realize you got to be a bleeding heart liberal for everybody. And, I have zero issue with somebody being liberal in our faith. In fact, I think it's actually a very beautiful thing that the gospel of Jesus Christ applies to everybody, regardless of political affiliation. Jesus Christ called Andrew the Zealot, who literally was out there probably shanking Roman soldiers, to go walk side by side with Matthew, the tax collector, who is the epitome of betrayal of his people. And like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think one of the most beautiful things is that the gospel of Jesus Christ can bring people together. But like at the end of the day, if we're really all going to be disciples and I'm going to be a zealot while you're a Levite or a tax collector, that's fine. But like, does your mercy extend to all, not just your pet project, your pet people, your pet slogans, so on and so forth? So,
and these are just jokes.
Yeah.
These are just jokes, all right? We make fun of everybody like this, okay? Like, they're just jokes.
I do think it's a good I think it's a good launching point, though, for a very important conversation in our faith, though, that we have to get used to, especially in North America, because politics are indeed tearing us apart in many regards, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that we do have to self-censure. We have to look for the mote that's in our eye before we go look at the beam that's in another person's eye, all right? And I think that the way that we best do that is saying, am I equally applying this justice or this mercy to both sides of the aisle and all people in our lives? Because it's very, very easy to overlook the flaws of the people that are on your team and then just exacerbate the flaws of the people that are on the other team in order to like virtue signal and just like score points and just descend into the murkiness of what you see on Twitter, right? And I'd like to think that we, because of our social fabric that is unique, can rise above it, maybe poke fun of each other and rib each other a little bit. But at the end of the day, just be cool. So
what I tell little kids getting baptized, I used to preside over the baptisms for a while, and I loved it when little kids get baptized.
Cool, rock on.
I'd say let's talk about race cars. Okay, if you're a race car and life is a race, what does baptism do for you? What is baptism? And they'd have different answers. They'd say, "Oh, it's putting more gas in my tank." They'd put more, and I'd say, "Actually, you're wrong. Being baptized means you're out of the race. It means now you're in the pit crew. You just help other people."
Interesting. I was joking.
You're not winning. You're not competing. You got it right. You're not winning. You're not competing with anybody. You're out of the race. Now you're just helping everybody do better. And so that's what being a member of the Church of Jesus Christ. We don't have tribes. We don't have ites. We're pro everybody. And so, yes, we'll take you. If you're a bleeding heart liberal, you're welcome here. And if you are a psycho Trump crazy person, you are welcome here.
But we also do need to be honest with ourselves, because there's two types of people in Mormonism that get involved in politics. There's those that want to so well represent their people and their problem that they're uniquely qualified to address and they're passionate about, that want to use the political machine in order to better society. And then there's those that want to use their station as a member in order to leverage their station as a member on behalf of politics, instead of trying to influence politics and be missionaries of God's goodness into secular society and politics. They become missionaries of secular politics into the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, which
whether or not, if you think Tian comes shot first or second, doesn't matter.
That's true.
You're welcome here, okay? You're welcome
true.
here. Hey, it's all right. We will take Tian come firsters or Tian come seconders, whatever. You're welcome here, okay? Side by side in the pews.
Exactly. All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. If you guys want to support the channel, please make sure you guys get a shirt at wardradio.com. If you're a person of means, please consider a generous contribution through Zelle or through Venmo. We also have a ton of the War in Heaven veteran hats available online in the Ward Radio merch store. And make sure you check out our sister channel with the Women of Ward Radio, Brittany and all of her besties that hang out on Women of Ward Radio and talk anything and everything tangential to the church as well there. We look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. As always, for this and more, please make sure you guys check us out at wardradio.com.